Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. I hope you all had a lovely weekend. Happy Monday. So, I just wanted to talk to someone this morning concerning Genesis chapter 37. I was reading it over the weekend, and I was so blessed. So, I picked out a few things from it. So, Genesis 37 is a story about Joseph. Joseph was Jacob's son, and Jacob loved him so much simply because he gave birth to him in his old age, you know. So his brothers didn't like that. His brothers were jealous of him because the father loved him a lot, you know. So what I learned from that is that, as parents, I feel like we should be very careful on how we treat our children. We should be careful that we do not show favoritism amongst our children because that could bring hatred, envy, and so on and so forth. So, another thing that I learned was that, because Joseph had a clean mind towards his brothers, every time he had a dream, he would talk to his brothers about it. And because of that, the first, I'll just recap on the first dream that he had, where he dreamed that his grain or his sheaves were upright standing while his brothers' own sheaves were bowing to his own sheaves. So his brothers interpreted that as them bowing to Joseph. So they still hated him even the more. Another time he had a dream where he saw the moon and the stars bowing to him, and he still opened up to his brothers. He didn't know that his brothers hated him. He didn't know that his brothers were envious of him. So what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that we should pray to God to give us the spirit of discernment. We should be able to discern who's good and who's not good around us, you know, because Joseph did not know. He was telling his brothers everything. His brothers were hating him the more. His brothers were jealous of him even the more. So we should always pray to God to give us, spirit of discernment, a spirit of wisdom to discern who's good and who's not. Even though as long as you're on this earth, you can't avoid meeting, bad people. You can't avoid meeting, the wrong people. But with the Spirit of God, God can help us to discern who's good and who's not, And because of that envy that they had towards their brother, they ended up selling him as a slave. They sold him to the Ishmaelites as a slave. So the book of Genesis 37 is really a good chapter. I pray that you just in your own time just read it and be blessed. Thank you so much for listening to me. I hope I opened somebody's eyes on this chapter. Thank you and have a blessed week ahead of you.